Dan Storey is a typical dad. He's done laundry and washed dishes more times than he can count. But it's mundane tasks like these that Dan says he now couldn't be more thankful for.
It feels good to actually feel normal again, to be able to take walks, to not feel like I'm short of breath or I feel just off.
Even just a month ago, doing just about anything felt nearly impossible to him. This marathon finisher now has another title, COVID long hauler.
After I started to feel somewhat better, I would go for a run and I could only manage maybe a quarter mile before I felt dizzy, lightheaded. I would see stars.
And Dan's wife, Kim, can attest it certainly has been a long haul for their family since August.
You have absolutely no clue how this is going to affect you long term. And I think my husband is a prime example of why you should avoid it at all costs.
Dan is far from alone. Dr. Michael Dolan practices internal medicine with Gunderson Health System. He says 50 to 60% of people who survive COVID end up dealing with symptoms for weeks, even months after testing negative.
Common ones are shortness of breath, chest symptoms like chest tightness. Fatigue is a really common symptom. A lot of people have this kind of cognitive fog that they live in, almost like their brain doesn't want to work.
But perhaps the scariest diagnosis for Dan came just over a month ago, after he thought he just tore a muscle in his calf.
Went in for an ultrasound, and shortly afterwards the doctor came in and asked if I had ever tested positive for COVID. And I said, yeah. He goes, well, these are symptomatic of what we're calling COVID clots.
Blood clots in his leg and lungs.
Actually, it was quite terrifying because it's still a clot. Even though the clot is from COVID, it's still a clot that could have broken off at any point and potentially killed me.
Dr. Dolan is seeing this more and more.
They can also form in the heart and the arteries, which then can go to the brain and cause a stroke, which then complicates the cognitive processes even more. So we're seeing a lot of that.
And as Dan's road to recovery continues.
Is there any advice that you would like to give other people now that you've experienced the virus and these long-term side effects firsthand?
It's not the common cold, it's not just the flu. Wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands. Just stay safe. That's all I want to say. There's no reason to want to get this.
In Wauwatosa, Megan Carpenter, Spectrum News.